Okay, we'll try again. Today's speaker is Elizabeth Chomik, and she will explore the power of speaking out for ourselves and for each other. We'll look at what holds us back from voicing our truths, and breaking the silence can lead to deeper trust, real change, and a more inclusive world. Come, discover how using your voice can empower you and uplift our community. Please help me welcome Elizabeth.
Yeah, just a little bit nervous. Thank you all, your community. I love you guys. Hello, everybody on Zoom. And I got to meet Shannon. Grateful. Thank you. I think I know each and every one of you, and I'm so grateful to be here to lead this talk. So it's overcoming silence. What does that mean to you? So I wanted to ask you all a little question. So we grew up a little bit, when we were young and we grew up, I was thinking about all the family secrets that happen. I know I've had some family secrets that I had to keep, and I know that I was a shy, quiet little girl. And here I had to overcome fear, I had to speak up, I had to do all this inner work to get to where I am right now, to be here to talk with you guys today. So just think about all these family secrets that you may have come. So welcome everyone to this talk on overcoming silence and individuation and collective liberation. What does liberation mean to you? I think liberation to me means freedom. Freedom to be who you are in every moment of each and every moment of your life, right? And so, do you want to create a world where freedom from discord becomes a reality? This involves transcending silence and embracing our voices to address and resolve conflicts. So the monthly theme, like Randy said, is raising your voice. I've already lost Randy into his phone. Raise your voice. This week we will dive into the transformative power of speaking out for our individual and collective liberation. Breaking the silence can enhance trust, drive meaningful change, and foster a more inclusive society. We'll explore the barriers that keep us from voicing our truths and share practical strategies to overcome them. To learn how to embrace our voice and pave the way for personal empowerment. What does personal empowerment feel to you? So overcoming silence can be a deeply personal and spiritual journey. I know that I've had just this topic has brought me on a spiritual journey. So your spiritual team, we met this week, and they helped me to overcome another barrier to fear. And so this barrier was actually it's so personal. So it was another core issue that I have. To overcome fear was the fear of abandonment. So what if I go to people and speak my voice and then they abandon me, right? And so that was one of the ones that I have. And so now that I went through this fear, I do have conflict with some people in my life, and so I'd like to actually speak with them and hear what they have to say, and to actually be there with them, and so we can overcome this, and I can overcome it within myself, and I can overcome it with them. And so I would love to talk with them and get this issue, because some things they're just little things that we make really big in our lives. So it could just be the act of listening. I know that this week I had a patient who was an emergency, and she came to me. I'm a dialysis nurse, and then she came to me and she was just so frustrated, and so all I did was I listened, and then it turns out she was just really frustrated because she had to stay in Winnipeg. She's from Garden Hill, and And she just wants to see her grandchildren. She wants to be home with them. And so she's here. And so I just listened, and she was just so thankful to be able to voice whatever was going on inside of her. And she just didn't feel heard. So I'm just going to go through a quote to inspire our journey. Let's reflect on a quote from James O'Day. It takes commitment to stay with the rigors of the journey. Each fresh insight that points the way to greater wholeness tests our motivation to expand our being or realign doing the work of becoming more integrated calls for a commitment to self-scrutiny and growth. But because integration pivots on an axis that includes both being and doing, it reshapes the relationship between self and others and spurs us to examine the quality of both our inner life and our engagement in the world. Spirituality cannot exist in a vacuum. Ignoring social conditions or the plight of humanity and activism cannot hope to transform the social order in the absence of mature spiritual development. Both must grow beyond any form of privileged exclusivity. In fact, they each must embrace a reality that joins them in service to individual and collective freedom. Spirituality cannot exist in a vacuum. Ignoring social conditions or the plight of humanity, and activism cannot hope to transform the social order in the absence of mature spiritual development. So this is from The Conscious Activist, where activism meets mysticism. In The Science of Mind Statement of Beliefs, Ernest Holmes affirms we believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete freedom from all discord of every nature. And there's that word freedom again. And that this goal is sure to be attained by all. This profound assertion invites us to recognize that true liberation, both individually and collectively, demands more than passive belief. It requires proactive engagement and transformation. To align with this vision, we must move beyond mere ideas and actively participate in creating a world where freedom from discord becomes a reality. This involves transcending silence and embracing our voices to address and resolve conflicts. By speaking up and taking action, we contribute to the collective shift towards harmony and equity. Our individual efforts to overcome silence and assert our needs are not isolated acts, but are integral to the broader movement toward collective liberation. Each step we take in advocating for ourselves and others helps dismantle barriers and fosters an environment where freedom and justice are accessible to all. Embracing this active role in our personal and communal lives is essential for manifesting the ultimate goal of complete freedom and harmonious existence for everyone. So, seek first to understand, then to be understood. This principle is a key to effective interpersonal communication and conflict resolution. Stephen R. Covey, seek first to understand, then be understood. Another quote, it is so easy to get caught up in wanting to express our own thoughts and feelings, but truly listening and seeking to understand the other person's perspective is where the magic happens. It is like when we feel heard and understood, we're more likely to open up and listen to others in return. It is all about creating that flow. It's all about creating that flow of empathy and connection. Have you ever noticed how transformative it can be when someone really gets where you're coming from? They really get you and you feel heard and seen. That's what we can do in all our relationships. Forgiveness is giving up all hope of a bitter past. It's letting go and making choice to find peace and understanding in the present moment, which is essential for resolving conflicts. Jack Kornfield, The Art of Forgiving, Loving Kindness, and Peace. So last Saturday I went to the Buddhist retreat again, and so I did 8 hours of meditation, loving kindness meditation and breathing meditation. And the next day on Sunday, I took a week off from here, a Sunday off, and I went to yoga, and then I decided to just go. I was driving home, and I was like, I wonder what my dad's doing. And so I went and I called him, and I said, do you want to go for a drive, Dad? And so we did. I went in for a drive, and then I just listened. Like, I was in that soft, quiet space because I had just meditated for 8 hours a day before I went to yoga, and then I just listened, and I was like, oh, now I know where you're coming from, and there's just forgiveness. Because I felt like he left when I was 10 years old. My parents split up, but he was also diagnosed with schizophrenia, so his mind is really not there right now. So really, anything I say is not going to penetrate whatever is there, but for myself, it was just that forgiveness that I could give him. And then when he left, he just looked right at me and he said, I love you. And that just landed, It landed in the right spot. And so I know he doesn't have much time on this earth left, so I think that was something that needed to happen in that time. So the art of forgiveness, loving kindness, and peace. Jack Kornfield's words make you think about the true nature of forgiveness. It is not about changing the past or erasing what's happened, but about releasing the hold it has on us. By letting go of the hope for a better past, we can focus on cultivating peace and understanding in the present moment. Be in the present moment. And then think about our sense of community. We do have a class going on right now with the 4 agreements. And it's so great to have, there's 14 people in this class, and it's so great to have a space where we can talk and reflect. And so we did be impeccable with your word. And so that is hitting me. And then I think the next one is, do you remember what it is, Mardal? The next one? Don't take anything personally. That's correct. Yes. So looking forward to that one. So the consequences of silence. What is the consequences of silence? It inhibits, it inhibits personal and collective growth. By choosing not to speak up, we inadvertently contribute to the continuation of harmful patterns and inequalities, allowing issues to fester unaddressed. This passive stance can lead to a cycle where unresolved grievances and suppressed voices create environments of tension and misunderstanding, preventing meaningful progress. It can lead to missed opportunities for connection and understanding. And personally, for each of us, silence also impacts our well-being by causing internal conflict and emotional strain. Failing to express our needs and concerns can result in... I always forget to look at the camera. I know it's being recorded, but I always forget. And I say, I'm going to look at the camera, and then I just forget. Oh, goodness. And then, yeah. Failing to express our needs and concern can result in personal feelings of frustration, resentment, and isolation, which undermine our sense of self-worth and connection with others. By addressing and overcoming silence, we open pathways to healing and transformation. We can foster environments where dialogue, understanding, and growth can thrive, engaging and openly with our experience and advocating for change not only enriches our own lives, but also contributes to the collective advancement towards a more equitable and harmonious world. So if we are in an open dialogue with each and every one of us, we would not have those misunderstandings. We would not have that, the gossiping and the parking lot, all of that. We would all be openly discussing things with each other. We have opportunities. We have board meetings that are open. There's one today. We have classes, and we have a town hall which, do we have a date yet, Randy? We have a town hall, we can voice our opinions there on how we want our community to be like, how we want our Sundays to go. So we have these open areas where we can engage in conversation. So we have erosion of trust and missed opportunities. Silence in the face of issues or conflicts can significantly erode trust within relationships and limit opportunities for positive change. When we remain silent, whether in personal or professional settings, we risk misunderstandings and unmet expectations and damage the foundation of our connections. This lack of communication can lead to a breakdown in mutual respect and make it increasingly difficult to resolve conflicts. So facing things head on is probably the best thing. And this is one that I need to learn. I'm gonna say it, but it's like speaking to that person directly. And so this last class, what be impeccable with your word, was like, wow, you really have to think about it. So this person that is who I have a conflict with is not here right now. I should not be saying anything. And so I really need to listen to myself in that and like be present to know that, you know, is this gossip? I don't want to engage in gossip. So this lack of communication can lead to a breakdown in mutual respect and make it increasingly difficult to resolve conflicts. Additionally, choosing not to voice our perspectives or challenge injustices means missing critical opportunities to influence and drive positive change. Silence allows problems to persist and the status quo to continue unchecked, while breaking the silence opens avenues for dialogue, innovation, and transformation, fostering a more inclusive and just society. So what are the barriers to speaking out and overcoming them? Several barriers can keep us silent, including fear of rejection, that's a big one, perceived power imbalances, or concerns about potential fallout of speaking out. So I was going to tell you a story about work. We have a lot of Philippine people there, and so a lot of people speak Tagalog. And the hospital is an English-speaking place, so they're supposed to speak English. But it doesn't happen. And so I had fear of rejection to go to the manager and say, "This is all happening out there." And when I did speak out, some of the people, like it's a team place, teamwork, and so some of the people wouldn't talk to me after. And so I'm like, do I go speak out or do I like be a team with this? And so I did speak out, and it hasn't changed much, but I mean, when you do speak out, it will eventually change. But that's just one of the barriers you can overcome. We start by developing a self-awareness and recognizing the root causes of our fear. And so I did share the root cause of my fear was fear of abandonment. So that's one of mine. And knowing that I am one with the divine source, the divine power, and so it's just the person who believes in this fear. But when I am connected with my higher power, I know that everything happens in the divine and perfect moment, timing. It's all divine. Thanks, Barb. I've seen your smiley face back there. Additionally, practicing assertiveness practice assertiveness in small little acts. Just practice. Practice makes perfect. Oh yeah, I was going to share this story as well. Yesterday, I decided I did a double of yoga. I don't usually do that, but I was inspired, and it's called Flight Club, and so it's practicing handstands. And I cannot do a handstand right now, but I mean, I will let you know, but it takes practice, right? It takes practice. So all these little acts take practice. But I'll let you know when I can do a handstand on my own, without a wall, without support. Getting closer. Practice. Embracing these strategies empowers us to confront barriers and advocate for ourselves and others more effectively, ultimately contributing to a more and transformative dialogue. There is power in you that can overcome all obstacles. It will lift you out of confusion and enable you to see clearly what it is before you. This is from Florence Scovel, Shin, The Game of Life and How to Play It. That inner power she talks about is something we all have, and tapping into it can be truly transformative. We all have that power. Do you believe that? I know Vesta does. I know April does. I know Barb does. Do we all? Candace? Barb does. Wendy? She knows that. Vivian? Randy? So, I'm going to tell you 5 steps for overcoming silence. Embrace your voice. 1, embrace your voice. Just come up here and talk. No, embrace your voice. Start by recognizing the divine power in your thoughts and voice. Use affirmations and positive self-talk to build confidence in your ability to shape your reality, and advocate effectively for your needs. I know that I can speak with divine grace and divine joy. That's the only thing that gets me up here. My positive, God is there with me, I can do this. That's the only thing that gets me here. 2, engage in spiritual practices. Incorporate practices like affirmative prayer, meditation, and visualization into your daily routine. There's some days where I'm just like, God is. Like, that's what gets me through that day. God is here with me right now. 3, create safe spaces, whether in your personal life or within your community. Strive to create environments where open dialogue and expression are encouraged. Support others in sharing their stories and experiences, fostering a culture of compassionate listening and mutual respect. 4, advocate for change. Use your voice to advocate for personal and social change. Engage in conversations, joining advocacy groups, and participate in collective actions that align with the principles of unity, love, and justice. And remember, your voice matters and can contribute to the collective consciousness needed to drive transformation. Your voice matters. And persist. 5 is persist in your journey. Understanding that breaking silence and advocating for change is an ongoing process. Stay resilient and persistent in your spiritual practices and advocacy efforts, knowing that each step you take is a step towards greater liberation and enlightenment for yourself and others. We delved into the topic of speaking up, how breaking the silence can build trust, drive meaningful change, and foster a more meaningful society, how to embrace your voice, engage in spiritual practices, create safe spaces, advocate for change, and persist in your journey. Only you can use your voice to embrace personal empowerment, to unlock the potential of your voice for a more connected and just world. The world needs your voice. And there's an affirmation. I don't know if you have it. No. Maybe not. Sorry. That's okay. If you want to read along with me, or not read along with me, but say it after me if you wish. I break the chains, of silence. With courage, my voice empowers. Myself and others, to claim liberation. I break the chains of silence with courage. My voice empowers myself and others to claim liberation. And that's it, and so it is.